A magnitude 5.6 earthquake and a series of weaker tremors rocked Occidental Mindoro early this morning. In a surprise announcement, President Rodrigo Duterte announced his retirement from politics. Meanwhile, the president's former aide filed his candidacy as vice president, a position Duterte himself had been eyeing. The Foreign Affairs Department has apologized to the public as it continues to grapple with passport backlogs. And Queen Elizabeth opened the Scottish Parliament for the first time since the death of her husband. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your weekend. I'm Sean Yao. A series of earthquakes rocked Occidental Mindoro earlier today. The strongest was a magnitude 5.6 quake that was felt at 5:59 a.m. However, FIVOLCS recorded a total of 12 earthquakes in the same area just this morning. And according to the agency, damage and aftershocks are expected from the series of tremors. The earthquake was felt at intensity 3 in San Jose, Occidental Mindoro, intensity 2 in Baguio City, and intensity 1 in Mulanay and Mauban in Quezon, as well as in Tagaytay City. It's also day 3 of the filing of COCs, and so far, the COMELEC has received 57 submissions for the national elections. Yesterday, 11 known personalities and groups filed their certificates of candidacy. Meanwhile, on Friday, the first day of filing, COMELEC received a total of 41 submissions for 6 presidential aspirants, 3 vice presidentials, 14 senatorial hopefuls, as well as 18 party list groups. President Duterte and Senator Bongo also surprised the public when Go filed his certificate of candidacy for vice president. This is after President Duterte announced his retirement from politics. That and more in this report by JC Cosico.
Around 3:30 p.m., President Rodrigo Duterte and his longtime aide Senator Bongo arrived at the Sofitel Hotel in Pasay City. However, it wasn't Duterte filing a COC for Vice President. Instead, Go will be running for the position.
I am here to take on the challenge as the PDP's Vice Presidential candidate.
Go said, should he be elected VP, he will not be a spare tire and will be continuing the programs under the Duterte administration, such as the anti-drug campaign and the Build, Build, Build program.
I will be a working Vice President na gagawin ang lahat ng aking makakaya para makapagsilbi po sa inyong lahat. Hindi ako magiging spare tire o reserba lamang.
Duterte explained he will no longer be running because public sentiment on his earlier decision is clear.
The overwhelming, sentiment of the Filipino is that I am not qualified and it would be a violation of the Constitution to circumvent the law, and so in obedience to the will of the people, sundin ko ang gusto ninyo. And today, I announce my retirement from politics.
Go is the fourth vice presidential aspirant to formalize their candidacy. It is not clear who will be his running mate and PDP Laban's standard bearer. But a video uploaded by supporters showed Duterte endorsing a tandem between Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte and Go for 2022.
Sara Go. Sara Go. Sara Go.
However, in the same afternoon, Sara herself filed her own COC for re-election as Davao City Mayor. In her official Facebook page, the presidential daughter thanked her supporters for their trust and respect. She also expressed hopes for an honest, orderly, and credible 2022 elections. But the presidential daughter's supporters are still calling for the Davao mayor to vie for the presidency. Back in the metro, broadcaster Rafi Tulfo filed the COC for senator. Running independent, Tulfo said he believes his YouTube subscribers will be supporting his bid. Former Senator J.V. Ejercito is also gunning for a Senate comeback and will be using the surname Estrada as a nickname in the ballot.
And everywhere I go, there's still people who refer to me as Estrada. So I think it's just proper that I use it also as an alias. But my main name would, in capital letters, will be Ejercito po.
Kappa Community Ministry founder Joel Apolinario will also be joining the Senate race. Apolinario was arrested in July 2020 for syndicated estafa charges. His reps filed his COC. In total, COMELEC says there are 57 COC and CONA filers for national positions so far.
We had a peaceful and orderly conduct of the filing of certificates of candidacy for both day 1 and day 2. And for the local positions, for today, we have not received a report of any untoward incident that had happened. So with that, we could assume that we have a peaceful and orderly conduct of this COC filing nationwide.
For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
The country logged over 14,000 fresh COVID-19 cases on Saturday. This has brought the total caseload to more than 2.5 million, 144,000 of which are still considered active. 164 new COVID-related fatalities were likewise recorded yesterday, bringing the death toll to over 38,000. Total recoveries are now at 2.3 million, with over 890 new survivors logged on Saturday. About 22% of the 68,000 of all tests conducted yielded positive results. In other news, Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong says that COVID-19 cases in the city remain high. Magalong said Baguio City recorded around 200 or records around 260 average daily cases with over 4,400 active infections currently in the city. With this, the LGU has strengthened its border control. Magalong also admits that contact tracing is a challenge because of budget constraints.
We're doing our best to really, control this pandemic. We can already see a downtrend. But for the meantime, we continue to strengthen our border control. Ganon din yung aming mga iba pang mga measures and guidelines.
And with that, 36 areas in 20 barangays in Baguio City are currently under lockdown after seeing a clustering of cases and low compliance with health protocols. The LGU has vowed to continue supplying food packs to residents under granular lockdown. We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Health authorities believe that Metro Manila is not yet ready for a lower alert level status. The health department says more evidence is needed to justify any further easing of restrictions. Faith Del Mundo has the details.
The alert level 4 has been retained in Metro Manila for 2 more weeks amid a decrease in COVID-19 cases. The health department says this is due to the healthcare utilization rates having yet to improve. On Saturday's Laging Handa briefing, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Berjera says the drop in COVID-19 infections in Metro Manila cannot be solely attributed to the granular lockdowns and the new alert level system.
Maaring yung ibang epekto po ng mga MECQ at ECQ yung ginawa natin in the past month. Tignan ho natin in the coming weeks kung magtutuloy-tuloy talaga yung trend ng pagbaba para masabi ho natin talaga that the shift in policy is giving us that effect that we would want.
Berjera added that sound trend may also be artificial since there has also been a decrease. Based on the DOH data, 93 areas in Metro Manila are under alert level 4. These areas have a hospital utilization rate of 70% and above, and an ICU utilization rate of 76%. Berjera says that should admission rates decline, Metro Manila's alert level status may then be lowered.
Hospitals are still full. So pag nakita na ho natin na medyo lumuluwag na at nakikita nating bumababa ang admissions, that's the time that we are going to de-escalate if ever.
Berjera likewise reminded the public to not be complacent despite the downtrend in COVID infections and to continue following health protocols. The DOH is also expecting to include antigen test results in the COVID-19 tally this week.
Sa ngayon po, meron na kaming numero on how much are validated and can be included as positive samples dito po sa ating reported cases. Hopefully this coming week we can already be including this antigen test result.
For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
The Foreign Affairs Department admits that pandemic restrictions have worsened their passport backlogs. The agency has now put up some measures to help decrease their backlog, such as putting up pop-up offices for renewal and the application of new passports. Undersecretary Brigido Dulay says they can only service a limited number of people, so they are asking for the public's understanding. He also said that while their services are still by appointment, there are courtesy lanes for persons with disability, pregnant women, OFWs, and senior citizens.
Datos namin, noong pre-COVID ay meron kaming naserbisyuhan na 4 na milyon mahigit na mga Pilipino na bigyan ng passport. At dahil sa pandemya, yung si Kraki, ito ay bumaba sa 1.7 million noong 2020, nung umpisa yung pandemya. At ngayon, 2021, habang Setyembre ngayon, buwan ng Oktubre na pala, 1.7 million na kami ngayon.
U.S. President Joe Biden lauded Filipino American nurses for, quote, selflessly working on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. In his message to the for the Filipino American History Month, Biden said that PhilAms have continued to serve and sacrifice in one of the darkest years in U.S. history. Biden also noted that Filipino Americans comprised 4% of nurses in the United States. At the same time, nearly a third of all nurses who died due to COVID-19 were Filipino American. The U.S. president said they are mourning their losses and are honoring the tremendous contributions of Filipino Americans amid the global health crisis. Queen Elizabeth II has opened the Scottish Parliament for the first time without her husband, the late Prince Philip. The Queen talked of the Parliament's key role in the upcoming climate summit in Glasgow. Let's watch this.
Next month, I will be attending COP26 events in Glasgow. The eyes of the world will be on the United Kingdom, and Scotland in particular, as leaders come together to address the challenges of climate change. There is a key role for the Scottish Parliament, as with all parliaments, to help create a better, healthier future for us all, and to engage with the people they represent, especially our young people. I have spoken before of my deep and abiding affection for this wonderful country, and of the many happy memories Prince Philip and I always held of our time here. It is often said that it is the people that make a place, and there are few places where this is truer than in Scotland, as we have seen in recent times.
This is the first time you have opened our Parliament without the Duke of Edinburgh by your side. On behalf of everyone in our chamber and across Scotland, I convey again our deep sympathy and shared sorrow at your loss. Your Majesty, thank you for honouring us by opening this sixth session of our Parliament and for your kind and thoughtful address to us today. Right now, as we battle through the storm of a global pandemic, that hope, that hankering for change, is perhaps felt more strongly by more people than at any time in our recent history. And that gives this Parliament a momentous responsibility and a historic opportunity.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 10 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.